see a lot of requests of players that we should buy. Of course, yes, the winter transfer season is on, and I think that there is a lot of rumors still going around, and I know that a lot of you guys are looking forward to seeing any improvements in the squad. But yeah, I'll just have to refer to official channels for that, and we're all looking forward to seeing what happens. Good morning from California. Must be nice to be out there. It's certainly not sunny in Munich today. It's a little bit fresh. I think it is supposed to cool down in Munich and also the rest of Europe over the next couple days still. So I think we might even be expecting snow into the weekend. Might make for an interesting match up against Basel. Apart from that, of course, plenty of Bundesliga action to come here in the month of January. We do start off with the final match day to conclude the first half of the season. Sure, we always say that before the winter break. It used to be that case as well, but we do still have match day 17 to mark the halfway point and to have almost played against everybody in the Bundesliga on the 12th of January. Of course, with 3 home games in a row, it's going to be a nice time for the players and for a lot of the fans at the Allianz Arena, even though after the first match we do have 4 days of training camp, which I'm not sure if we've actually announced yet of where that's going to be. And then, of course, on the 24th, just 3 days after the fixture up against Bremen, we do still have match day 13 to be played. After that was called off against Union in December. And then, of course, Augsburg, the final match of the year, will be a short travel day for our Bayern squad. So when it comes to games, Basel is going to be the furthest travel this month. And apart from that, it's going to be very local for our Bayern Munich squad. You're saying it's not very sunny in California. Yeah, well, I'm guessing it's still much more comfortable than in Munich right now. But yeah, apart from that, players still warming up, going through their drills. Of course, yeah, we've had this a lot of times as well, that I see some of you guys in chat picking up on some of the drills that the squad runs through. Of course, a lot of that is just your usual warm-up right now, but then later on as well, sometimes we do get an insight into a couple of tactical plays as well. And we've had that time and time again where some of you that are coaches to youth squads say that you might have picked something up to bring to your next practice session as well. That's why I'm always a fan of the kind of overview cameras here as well. Thomas Tuchel keeping a close eye on his squad right now. Someone in chat saying this is fake. I can guarantee you that none of it is fake as far as I can see. There is actually fans at Säbener Straße. The players are there. Sometimes they do make their laps around and take a couple of pictures as well. And apart from that, it's probably the closest you can get outside of maybe fan interactions outside of pitches. But apart from that, it's probably the closest you can get to the pitch to see your favorite Bayern players. How do you get to meet Musiala? It's a good question. Harry will continue with his hat tricks. Yeah, I think he is on to take a bunch more records. Obviously, last year again was a great year for Bayern football. We've had a bunch of records to be broken again. Harry Kane obviously pulling up with a lot of them. We had a great campaign throughout the Bundesliga. Of course, starting it off in the summer with, yeah, an 11th consecutive championship. Right now, the table might be looking a little bit more contested, but still, remember, there's still 19 match days to go in the Bundesliga, so plenty still to come. I think we've gone without scoring at least one goal for like 42 games by now as well in the Bundesliga. So much to be had. And I think Harry Kane will be a big part of that. Obviously throughout. And yeah, plenty more football to come. I think from what I read the other day as well, we'll have our 2000th game coming up this year as well. So that will be a landmark to go through. I think from the youngsters' side, I saw... Who else did we see thus far on the squad? We saw Franz Kretzig, obviously, but he's been part of pretty much the men's squad a lot now. We'll have to see. I'll try to keep an eye on who we've actually seen thus far, apart from our usual suspects. I talked about Davies at the start of the stream, so from what I heard is Davies has not actually returned yet, so obviously... Yeah, exactly. So Fonzie got that extra vacation day, and he'll be with the squad soon, though. And I think we're all just looking forward to actually being back on the pitch as well, and then seeing the players back at the Allianz Arena. First of all, of course, we do have that game against Basel, which I haven't actually heard yet on where you're going to be able to watch it around the world. I think that German viewers we'll probably get a chance to watch it somewhere on TV. That's usually the case. But I hadn't actually read on that just yet. I think a lot of the times during practice as well, a lot of you guys ask what kind of your chances of getting discovered. I think we have a lot of young players kind of always with that dream of joining our team. And actually right now might be your chance, as on our social media channels, I think we did put out a couple posts on Instagram, on Twitter, about applications for the World Squad now being open. And that, of course, is a great way to get into it for any players born between 2006 and 7. So that's always a great part of that. And, of course, we I think did have coverage as well of the Youth Cup that we did back in October. Of course, our fcbayern.com website, always the best place to kind of stay up to date on the squad, on what's happening around the squad as well. I thought I've seen Tell already, Levi. But we'll keep an eye out. But yeah. Y'all asking if I'm a staff member. So I work with Bayern. I'm not actually full-time with them, but I do a lot of coverage with them, and mainly just the match coverage. But obviously sometimes we do cover these practice sessions as well. And yeah, sometimes you actually could hear me for some of the press conferences as well. course, we do have quite a lot of content going around. But yeah, great to have all of you guys with us for the first practice session here at Säbener Straße. If you have been keeping tabs and are wondering what's going on with how everyone's dressed, it's only 9 degrees today in Munich. It's not actually that cold. I was surprised to see people like Müller being dressed out in all long clothes, as he's usually the first guy to come out there in shorts, and to be sent back by Thomas Tuchel to say, no, come on, put on some long johns and dress up correctly for the weather. It has been quite cold today with the winds coming through, but apart from that, it's been quite neat. Yeah, there you go. We did just see Tell. Exactly. So, yeah, I think apart from that, obviously it's all just expectations of what are we going to see into 2024. I think that whilst the German press has been quite critical and has been saying, yeah, come on, what's going on? I think we do have to send respect out to the team out in Leverkusen with what they've been able to accomplish. But obviously, second half of the season still to be written. 2 games from the first half still to be played. So plenty of that still to go before you guys give up hope. So I think that's what we're all looking forward to as well, is just to see how we're going to continue with the games, of course, at the Allianz Arena still to come. I think everybody's looking forward to seeing all of that. It is going to be, I think, a quite quick end towards the end of the season, considering, of course, we do have the Euros coming up. The Allianz Arena will be used for that as well into mid-June. And, of course, right now, with the start of the Asian and African Cups still to come on, I think, the 12th and 13th of January. We do, of course, have a couple of players that are going to be out for that and not joining the team throughout that time. But I think that there is definitely some other teams like, for example, Leverkusen as well, that will maybe be hit a little bit harder. That could be our chance to keep on going. Right now, I think it's 4 points behind Leverkusen. Do still have that game in hand that's up against Union, who have, compared to last season, of course, was a crazy season for them, haven't been able to stay on top in the same way and have dropped down the running order and haven't exactly had the best of records this season. So, yeah, I think it's just great to see the Bundesliga with the way that it's developed. Leverkusen out on top, who have kind of had that stigma of being the forever seconds of the league. Obviously, we still all hope that Bayern are going to come out on top, and I'm quite confident in that. Watch that come back for us tomorrow. But, yeah, exactly. So that's why don't really need to worry for the moment. Stuttgart have had a tremendous season. The best question there is, are they going to keep Guirassy, who has obviously pushed them above and beyond? And even, in the game against us, I had actually expected a little bit more. It was a 3-0, so quite decisive for Bayern. Usually Stuttgart showed up a little bit more, even in previous seasons where they weren't as strong when they came out to Munich in the Allianz Arena. So yeah, I don't really think that there is any problems going further, and just looking forward to that. So I did just see some questions on Facebook as well. If you can have some goalkeeper gloves, usually the best chance there is to reach out to players and their managements. I think most of them do have contact addresses as well, where you can get a signature or stuff like that. But I think to actually get gloves is very, very difficult. And sometimes I know that we've had a couple giveaways as well, so that's usually the best chance to get those. And one of the younger viewers watching asking if they can come to trials at Zemna. I think your best chance to maybe get a shot is still to try and get into the world squad if you are, of course, 2006 or 7. And yeah, we've seen some crazy talents come through that avenue as well. And yeah, it's always enjoyable to have all of you guys along. I've seen one of you guys ask on the YouTube chat a couple times how you can meet Jamal Musiala. And I know that sometimes there have been like giveaway experiences for things like that as well through players. However, yeah, best shot is maybe to go to a practice session at Zerbner Straße. Sometimes the players do make the rounds, or at least it is the closest you'll probably ever get, apart from going to the Allianz Arena and watching a game there. And sometimes then, of course, also the players do make the rounds there. If you are further up on the grandstands, you can see the players up close there. But yeah, it's usually not the easiest to meet the players, I guess. But yeah, I think it's easier at a couple of other clubs, as of course there's always so many fans here for the public practice sessions, and sometimes also just hanging out at Zerbner Straße. It does always, yeah, kind of surprise me. Of course, you guys can get a couple of views of the training grounds and the gym up top illuminated as well. Sometimes when players aren't out on the pitch, you can see them up there. But right now, almost everyone is here that's involved. So what are the fixtures for the winter friendlies? So we do have, I think right now, only the one game up against Basel, and that's coming up on Saturday. So Saturday, 3:30 European time. We'll have that game up against Basel. And I'm sure that we are having coverage of some sort still to come there. I've only, I haven't heard anything confirmed yet on where you guys can actually watch that yet. But yeah. Is Bayern playing a match in the US someday? We have already, yeah, played preseason matches on our summer tour out there. So I'm guessing that we'll have more of those. So definitely friendly matches in the States. I think that there is always talks about maybe the Bundesliga having some sort of expedition match, same as other leagues have been doing it. At least the American leagues have been doing it around the world. And that's been talked of a couple times, but I'm not sure if that's actually going to happen. I think that seems to be the way that the sports world is developing. But apart from that, question on where Tuchel will play Sane. I guess that is for us to find out and for him to decide. We've seen him play out on the right flank multiple times, so yeah, why not? I think that at least when it comes to offensive positions, we do still have a very wide squad with players able to perform in a various branch of positions. I think it's been great during this year's preseason to see how Mathis Tell played, and then of course when he was needed as well in the squad, how he was able to support some of the other guys as well that have had periodic times in the squad. It's always been great to see those guys develop. But yeah. Who will Bayern sign in this winter transfer window? Also a very good question. And I'm guessing we'll find out at some stage soon. Sorry, guys. Not really anything that I'm even in the know of. As, yeah, it is usually very tightly guarded. So, Yeah, I did see a lot of you guys answering on Facebook on when or from where you guys are watching as well. Plenty of you guys from South Africa, Senegal, Indonesia, Nepal, South Africa, Ethiopia. Great to have all of you guys on. So yeah, plenty of chats about that as well. Great to have some people watching from Oman as well. I think we've had those people already. Nigeria. Someone just in chat saying that they're actually watching from Zeebnerstraße. I mean, if you're there, you might as well just look outside. Or if you are outside on pitch side, you might as well just watch it there. Even though sometimes maybe our cameras do get a little bit closer. You might be able to get a better view than being on the side. If you're on the far side and they're more towards the player exit and not right by you, that might be a good one. But yeah, of course, if you are ever in Munich, usually our public practice sessions are announced on our website and on our social media channels. So yeah, maybe sometimes you are lucky and you are in Munich and can go to one of these practice sessions. I think it's it is something that's quite usual in Germany, but worldwide, I think, isn't as common practice anymore to be able to visit the public practice sessions or to even have public practice sessions and watch some of your favorite footballers practice and go through their drills. And especially not when it comes to top European clubs. I think by now it's not that much, but yeah. Is 4-2-3-1 Bayern main formation? Yeah. I mean, that's usually how I would say they line up. Obviously, I think kind of your default main formation these days is a lot more fluid than just numbering out like that. But yeah, that is usually, or almost always, the way that we play. The way that I always note it down on my note sheets anyways. When will Bayern visit Ghana? Not sure. Not sure when that will happen. I know that we always get that question for our practice sessions as well, or any of our live streams that we do have, of like, when are you coming to my country? I think States usually a good shout. And then of course we've had tours towards Asia as well. We'll have a look. We'll have a gander. We'll have to see when that's gonna happen. But yeah, apart from that, I think unless you're going to a Champions League game, you'll have to come to Germany to watch Bayern play for a lot of the times. Great to see people tuning in from Australia as well. I just saw from Brazil, from South Africa, from France. Great to have all of you guys on. Mind you, Australia is what, like middle of the night now? So, yeah, respects to you for staying up. Or I don't know, you might just be heading out to work. You might just be coming out from work. I think these days it's a lot more common for people to be up around all times of day. And for Brandon asking when we're coming to Canada, I'd love for that to happen. It's been a while since I've been, and that would be one of the tours. I would love to travel with a team. Yeah, cool to have people watching from Munich as well. See, you could have come out and seen the players in the flesh. But as well, I do respect you for tuning in from home, or maybe from work, or whatever you're up to right now. And who knows, maybe also a little bit more cozy than to go out and see the players here. Considering, of course, yeah, it might not be as cold. It is still really windy, though. I think from one of the cameras up higher, we did see a little bit of the wind swaying the trees earlier. As I talk about it, the winds are perfectly calm, so who knows? Maybe the wind has calmed down a little bit. All good. But yeah, I did see a couple of you guys asking as well where some of the players are. And of course, we talked about this at the start of the stream as well. Of course, Davies got a little bit of an extended vacation, so he's only joining the team, I think, tomorrow. I mean, to be expected if he went back to Canada over the holidays to, yeah, have that little bit of extra time to come back, as it is always a longer travel time. Kim is obviously with the South Korean football team preparing for the Asian Cup. That's going to be happening, I think, 10, 11 days from now. So not too far out there as well. Gnabry, I think, was out with the squad earlier, but is also not part of main practice from what I heard because he's still regenerating, obviously. And, yeah, Mazraoui was not here either. But I think apart from that, almost everyone is actually there today. And, yeah, they were just running through a couple of drills. Figures you can see them very focused towards one area, getting a little bit of a drink in now, and we'll have to see what Tuchel has in store for the players coming up next, and of course all the supporting staff around him. And you can see a bunch of the younger players coming in as well to yeah, join in. We have seen a lot of them get shots throughout the season and preseason last time as well. I think usually that's also the time where players do get a chance to come with us to the training camps. I think we do still have that coming up in mid-January. So 14th to the 18th, we'll have a brief training camp coming up. And apart from that, what are they drinking? I think most of them are drinking water. But, I don't know how long the practice sessions usually are. So the public practice sessions are usually like an hour, 45 minutes, an hour 15. So around 45 minutes to an hour 15, usually around that time, is at least for how long we do the live streams and how long fans are there. And then that starts to fizzle out, and then the curtains get drawn. I think today they only have this one practice session. I'm guessing that the next couple of days they'll have more and more. Of course, right now it is about regenerating as well. Those players to, yeah, restore usual fitness. Even though, of course, players do keep individually fit. It has now been, what did we say earlier? It was, I think the 20th was that final match day of the season. So it's now been, quick math, 13 days, 12 days? 13 days, I think, since. So, yeah, obviously practice after that and all of that, but always important to kind of start things off slow and then build off of that. Carla asking if Kretzig is there. Yes, he is. And on how many goals Kane can score this season, I don't think that anybody knows. I don't think that he knows. We'll have to see. He scored a brace this year already, so we'll have to see what else he can do. I think he's up to 21 in the Bundesliga. Of course, 4 in the Champions League as well, so very involved as well, not just scoring goals himself, but very selfless and a lot of the times to grab a couple of assists. So I think it's 21 in the Bundesliga, 4 in the Champions League, and that is it. And I think in total also 8 assists. And to Moin Moin in the YouTube chat, we do actually have German streams as well on YouTube and Facebook. So we don't only have the English coverage here, we do have a German stream If I'm not mistaken, we have a Spanish stream today as well. So we do try to cater to most of our fans. If I should guess how many goals Kane will score, well, difficult to say. To be honest, like halfway through the season, not even halfway, considering that we still have 2 match days to go. If he keeps on scoring like he has thus far, then he will beat Lewandowski's Bundesliga record. To be honest, to even do it in his first season in the Bundesliga would be insane. But I think long term, he's definitely going to do it. If I'm not mistaken, it was 41 goals from Lewandowski. So I'm just going to say that if he scores the same way as he does, I think 45 are doable. Always difficult to kind of stress the players. We always hear it. He like gets a bunch of games in succession. The press is all happy about it. Hey, come on, the man's scoring. And then he doesn't score for a game or 2. And then all of a sudden it's, oh, he can't score anymore. And it's like, no, come on, give him a break. He's already scored so many. So yeah. But yeah, I think that, like, I'm just going to go and say it, that he's going to score more than Lewandowski this season. Am I in the marketing team? No. Actually, I just work with Bayern for their live streams, and that's about it. But yeah, we do a lot of the live streams of practice sessions. We do, of course, cover, or I work on all the coverage for the web radio. I'm not always there for every game, but we do, of course, have coverage of every Bundesliga game, Champions League game, DFB Pokal game, whatever games we have coverage on our website, usually in the form of the web radio for all the official competitions. And then sometimes we do have a couple of live streams as well. I just always enjoy being out here with you guys. And I just saw some people asking in the chat as well if there is any chances on actually working with the club. And I think that there's always a chance to apply through our website. If you're asking to be a player, I think that's going to be very difficult because I think that our scouting department is already very strong. And for anyone that is up to scratch, I think usually our scouts have already laid an eye on you. And of course, yeah, just the football and scouting network these days is just crazy to see how active it is and where across the world new players are being looked for. But yeah, I think that's... I think it's the first time that a lot of you guys have asked me about myself. Yeah, my name's Tyler. Myself and James do a lot of the coverage for the web radio. And it's always great to be on with you guys. Why don't we have a Twitch stream? I don't know. I think that we already have a bunch of you guys watching here on YouTube and also over on Facebook. I'm not sure. At the same time, we're like streaming to all those platforms in German and Spanish, so that's always part of it. I do see you guys on Facebook as well. Continuing on where you guys are from. We have people from Poland, from Bangladesh, more people from Bangladesh, plenty of people from Bangladesh, Nigeria, Bosnia, Albania, India, Congo. Great to have all of you guys here. Hungary as well, South Korea. I saw a bunch of you South Korean fans earlier on our YouTube channel as well, and of course a lot of them asking on where is Min Jae Kim, and obviously he is with the national team, preparing for the action at the Asian Cup as well. Of course, very interesting with action happening in the Asian Cup and African Cup now in January. Players are going to be missing and with their national teams. I think that our squad isn't going to be hit as hard as others in the league. But yeah, maybe also a chance where I think Leverkusen are missing 4 or even 5 players. Does, yeah, maybe give them a chance to drop a couple of points to have it in our favor and for us to jump back into it. So, of course, we talked about this at the start of the broadcast as well, that we do have that friendly coming up on the 6th of January, which is the Saturday coming up, 3:30 p.m. over in Basel, up against FC Basel. Of course, also a team that is well known around Europe and also very strong within Switzerland. So not always just a game to say, okay, well, it's going to be written off and an easy game for Bayern. I think we are all expecting our team to win there. But again, it is a friendly. It is a time where you can maybe give some players extra minutes, see what you can do. Usually with only one friendly game, we do see the first hour or so with the usual lineup and then a full-on change out. But we'll have to see what Thomas Tuchel has planned for that. Of course, it's been a while for him as well since he's had a break over Christmas with a squad. And I think everybody heard him in good spirits throughout the past couple of days. And you can see Bernie right now making his rounds as well. Always a big fan, or always a big star with the young fans. Seems to be on a mission and on a run right now. But all the love, I think, right now doesn't go to the fans there, but to all of you guys watching at home. Look at that. Do you think Bayern will make a comeback against Leverkusen? Definitely. I'm still, like, very sure that Bayern are going to be champions at the end of the season and make it 12 consecutive. So I'm not worried about that too much. So with that, of course, we just talked about the friendly match. Just 6 days after that, on the Friday, also a late kickoff, same as the Union game. 8:30 kickoff is the home game up against Hoffenheim. And that should also be a game that our squad should be able to manage. Of course, I think Hoffenheim right now in 7th, same amount as points as Freiburg and Frankfurt. So, yeah. Usually I'd say we should be able to beat Hoffenheim without too much struggle, especially with the home fans at the Allianz Arena. Then a couple of days at the training camp for the squad before, I think it's even a Sunday game, up against Werder Bremen. That will also be at the Allianz Arena. And then the final game at the Allianz Arena in January is on the 24th of January, up against Union Berlin. That's that match that we weren't able to play on match day 13. And then, of course, on the 27th, match day 19, the second game of the away leg of the 2023-24 season is going to be an away game at Augsburg. So at least when it comes to Bundesliga fixtures, it's 3 games at home, 1 game away, and that 1 game away is like 100 kilometers away from Munich. So great times. Hope to have a lot of you guys out at the Allianz Arena. And I see a lot of you guys asking how I've been today, and yeah. It's been a cool start into the new year. Haven't really done too much. Have enjoyed some time at home and some time with the family as well. And still very hyped to get back into the action. Of course, not just to be seeing the guys out here and practicing. And getting a couple, yeah, small pitch drills in now as well. But yeah, to actually see them back in action at the Allianz Arena. Just heard a young fan in the background asking Neuer if they can have a ball. But yeah, a lot of this quick transition play, having more players on the pitch, is usually what we need a lot of when we try to break through any of the defenses, especially in the Bundesliga. We talk about this so much in our coverage on our web radio for any of the games, that a lot of the times it is just about recycling possession as well, dropping back, seeing if you can pull off your competition and yeah, pull them out from those tight spaces. And then just a lot of tiki-taka, short-range passes to try and manage your way through. Is there any way to get tickets? I know it's always difficult to get tickets. But yeah, usually the official channels on our website is your best way and the safest way to get tickets, I would say. But I know a lot of people, myself included at some stage, that wanted to go to a game and just couldn't because they couldn't get a ticket. Do you think Bayern players should give the fan the Bundesliga trophies if Bayern continues to win the Bundesliga? I think a lot of people would love that, but it is also tremendous when you get to see a wall of trophies hang out. So, yeah. Don't think that that's going to happen anytime soon. But who knows? Maybe once it's more and more and more. How do I think Bayern will approach the Champions League? And do I think if there's going to be any changes in our team or tactics? No, not really. I mean, thus far it has worked out, considering our record improving when it comes to, of course, the group game wins and the performances there. But yeah, all throughout, I think we can be quite happy with our performance in the Champions League. Looking forward to seeing how the rest of it continues. I think that for right now, the fixtures are also still manageable in a way. It's not going to be easy in any way, but I think it could have been a more difficult draw as well. Yet again, I don't want to curse the team in that way. How many times have we talked about it? Hey, come on, commentators, just curse the team. But I think that Lazio is a beatable team. At the same time, of course, great to be first in the groups. And to, of course, then also have that right of having the second game away from... or having the first game away from home and the second game at home. So, yeah, apart from that, I think it's not going to get any easier from there on out. As always, when you get towards yeah, the knockout stages. What do I think of Sané thus far? Yeah, great performance, I think, thus far this season. Also his best season, if I'm not mistaken. When you consider this season, he's already scored 8, assisted 8, played, I think, every game and almost played the entirety of every game. So he's been very strong in that regard. I think he was also kind of pulled down in the German press a couple times because, of course, he had that flurry of goals towards the start and then has sort of died down a little bit. But apart from that, yeah, great performance thus far. I think he's already been involved in more goals and scored just as many goals as he did last season. So that's definitely something that I think he can continue to improve on. I think that he's also had a great time in that. So yeah, why shouldn't he continue on? I think 8's both scored and assisted in the Bundesliga and 1 each in the Champions League. And of course, I mean, playing every game is very difficult, especially with that all going down. Which player gets the most fan interaction? Recently, it might be this guy, Matisse Tell, as you can see on your screen right now. I think the way that he's been interacting, like even just like playing FIFA against players was quite funny. Some of the interactions happening there, some of the interactions at the Allianz Arena, interacting with some of the fans was very cool to see as well, considering he is such a young player, and to kind of be one of those guys to be great with the fans, I think is so great to see. Obviously, all the other guys, your usuals, your Thomas Müller, who of course been with the squad for so long, always are kind of the attractions. But apart from that, yeah, I think it's been great to see how a young player like Matthias Tell has been interacting with the fans, and I think also he has had a sort of glow up in that sense as well. So yeah, as the sun goes down here at Sebener Straße, still plenty of young fans watching the team all wrapped up nice and warm. I think it's a cool experience still to have in Germany, to have public practice sessions, to be able to see the players up close, maybe get a selfie in. But also just sometimes it's great to keep your phones away, take the experience as it comes, and yeah, just enjoy in that moment how everything goes down. And I think, yeah, that a couple of players do, in their off times, play video games. We've had that a couple of times, I think last season as well, where some of the players were asked what they do on their off time. And yeah, why not? I think some of them do it kind of undercover and don't talk about it. I think a lot of them are boys at heart and do play football on the console every so often. Sometimes to wind down. But yeah, I think a lot of us just can't get enough of football at the end of the day, and that's great. Again, the question regarding formation, I think sure, maybe in a starting lineup sort of way, you can experiment around with it, but at the same time, it's more about game plan as the game goes on kind of how the game goes. You're never gonna stick to that one formation. You're always gonna be fluid, and even though officially it is a 4-2-3-1, a lot of the times it is just three at the back. How many times do we see it where so much happens on the wings? Of course, this season, a lot of the times, actually, it's not just been Davies going up and down the left wing. It's been Mazraoui as well, up and down the right wing. And I think that already the squad has developed quite a lot and has changed the positive. So, yeah, I think everybody is kind of enjoying that. And I'm not really expecting a change in the base formation. There's always going to be adaptations to single opponents. But yeah. And for any of the people in the chat as well, we've had it a couple times today as well, this afternoon. I guess we can almost talk about tonight. It's almost 5 p.m. in Germany right now. But regarding transfer rumors, I pretty much know just as little and just the rumors as you guys at home. So I'm not actually fully in the know on any of it. But yeah. You want more game time for De Ligt? Yeah. Obviously, that had to do with his injury, and now it's great to have him back here in practice, and it's great to have him back on the pitch then, here in the new year. And yeah, it's all going to be about regenerating, making sure that we don't get any further injuries, especially when it comes to defensive positions. We might have been plagued a little bit, but apart from that, the squad has been so great at reacting to that and being able to manage that. And of course, not only the players themselves, but also all the staff behind the players in the physio and medical department, making sure that players, when they are injured, make a swift recovery and so on. So yeah, whilst it is 11 against 11 on the pitch, and then a couple of substitutions are able to come in, there's always so much going on behind the scenes as well, helping out with the squad. And Yeah, always something to consider in that as well. If I would have to decide, I would love to continue having Fonzie in the squad. It's great to have him, and yeah, has a very special character. Just his relationship that he's built over this time now as well with some of the players. I think the most publicized one definitely with Jamal. I mean, him and Musiala have had such great times as well throughout, and you can see that on the pitch as well when they work together, and it's always something great to follow. So yeah, nothing that I can really talk about on that front. But yeah, apart from that, of course, 2024 is going to be super interesting. Not only do we have the Asian Cup and African Cup coming up here in January, we have the Euros happening in the summer. Of course, the Euros at home, literally in Germany as well, with the Allianz Arena also playing host to the opening match there in June. So that's going to be great to see. And then, of course, once we start into the new season, Champions League is going to be really interesting as we start into a new format, which I think is going to be super interesting as well to see how that develops. But yeah, I just realized actually that when we started the live stream, it was still light out. And by now the sun is set. It's fully dark. The floodlights are on. And yeah, gives off a little bit of the floodlight magic that we have sometimes at the Allianz Arena. It's always something special. It's something that the players talk about as well, to have an evening game. I mean, right now it's still the afternoon, obviously in winter. Sun sets earlier than in summer, but yeah, it's always great to have that. And I think not just a floodlight.